Welcome back, guys. If you are new here, I am making a series of videos where we troubleshoot basic Kubernetes issues that you would encounter while working on Kubernetes. You can also use this to basically learn about CKA and CKAD. The questions won't be this easy, but it will give you an idea of how to troubleshoot, where to look at, how to understand the error messages and all. So without any further delay, let's start with our new problem. So I have a test pod. Let me apply it right now. And once I apply, the pod has been created. It's a very simple YAML file. It's a test pod with app equal to worker label running Nginx. Very easy. We don't have resource quotas, so there's no problems. If I do a kget pods, you can see that the test pod is still pending. It shouldn't be pending because there is literally nothing in this YAML that could be causing issues. We can do a kget events and you will see the failed scheduling. So there are different types of event messages that can tell you where the problem is. We can also do a k describe pod test pod and you will see the same message that we saw in the events. This is actually pulling from the events. So one thing that I have been mentioning again and again in this series is that Kubernetes error messages basically tell you what the problem is. There is no confusion. It is plain, straightforward English telling you where to look. So when it says that the scheduling has been failed, it means that our pod is not able to get into any nodes. The scheduler is the one that schedules the pods into the nodes. If our pod has been deployed, if there is any issues with the YAML of the pod, it won't get into a pending state. When it goes into pending, it means that it has passed the basic checks and it is ready to be deployed, but there are no nodes to deploy it on. So if I do a k-top node, there's no metric API. So let me do just a kget nodes. We have two nodes and they are in a ready status. So they are also ready to take the pod and the pod is also ready to be scheduled on a node, but it is not going into the node. So let's do a describe on this worker node and let's see why it is not able to take the pod. There are no error messages in the events. Let's go and look at the labels. The labels look fine. There's nothing in the labels. But what we see over here is this taints. This is very important. Taints and tolerations are there in Kubernetes to help you schedule certain pods on certain nodes. If you have a GPU node and you want your GPU pods to go into that node, you add a taint on the node. So basically you are telling the node that only this particular pod with a toleration of this taint can be scheduled on it. It's basically like a ID card. Suppose you work at a company and before going into the company, you have to scan your ID. And if you're an employee of the company, you will get access to go in. If you're not an employee, you won't get access. Similarly, a taint is like the ID. And this ID should be in the pod to tell the node that it can accept a pod with this toleration. What is our taint? It says status equal to unhealthy, no schedule. Now, this is very important. A lot of people get confused with taints and how to use it in tolerations. So if I do a vim on test pod, one thing that I'm going to do, let me zoom in. One thing that I'm going to do over here is at the bottom, I'm going to paste the taint. And the way you fix this issue, so under the container, not under this particular Nginx container, we are adding the toleration to the pod, not on the container. So the pod definition is after spec. So in the line of containers, you're going to add a tolerations key. What are going to be our tolerations? So to read this, you have to do something like this is equals, this is value, and this is an effect. So we are going to do it similarly. Key is going to be status, value is going to be unhealthy, effect is going to be no schedule, and the only thing remaining now. So what is the equal to? It is called an operator, equal. So we have this, let me align this. Let's go back, save and quit. And now kget pods, we still have it pending. So k apply minus f test pod. And if I do a kget pods, you can see that it has been deployed. And if I do a kget pods -o wide, it went into the desktop worker node. So that is how you add tolerations for a taint. And this is one way that has helped me quite a lot is you do key equal to value and then what is the effect of it. So key value effect, and this is called the operator. Operator is going to be equal to. So there are various other operators. You can see it in the Kubernetes documentation. I hope this was helpful. I hope this way of doing things has helped me understand taints and tolerations quite well. So I hope you find this helpful. And I think that is it for this video. Thank you guys. And I will see you guys in the next one.